Hello viewers and welcome to another Forza Motorsport 4 video. This time our man Ross takes a look at the recently released Jalopnik Car Pack. Let's take a look.
Hello there guys, yeah, it's me Ross, or VVV Cozzy, whichever you prefer, they're both the same person. We start off the Jalopnik Car Pack with the 1973 Ford Pinto, producing 89 horsepower from that 2-litre engine, and it's got a fantastic FR standard layout. The interior is quite funky for a 1970s car. The dash is quite clear and very plasticky, and I love the mirror in the middle of the windscreen. Like, yeah, you'll need it there, it's fine. That'll do method of building cars that you don't see nowadays. This car has a 2-litre engine, which produces that amazing 89 horsepower, which is very lethargic. It's not very powerful and the sound isn't great. I'm pretty sure there are loads of fans of this car out there because I've had a look on the internet. There's quite a few clubs for them, so you know, it's a very nice car, a very good looking car for its time period, and it was very safe amongst its class. It was probably the safest in its class because the massive bonnet and, you know, engine in the way of everything before they actually hit the car. But handling it off-road there, because I thought it would handle better off-road, it does. The suspension's so soft and wallowy, you could probably drive this over, you know, over a teenager's face with all the pimples, and you wouldn't feel a thing, you know. Obviously, human being squishy, and just you kill him. This car does weigh quite a lot for what it is. I think it's 2,000 something pounds. Very heavy car. Engine is lethargic, and the suspension is very wallowy. I would not recommend driving it around Maple Valley because I struggled with 3rd and 4th gear. 3rd barely crawls up these hills. I had to change down quite a few times. The car is quite cute though. I mean, there are obviously fan bases out there for it, but I really wouldn't recommend this car unless you decide to put the Ford Mustang V8 in it, because I've done that already and it is miles better with that engine. It just sounds like it deserves in that car, like it belongs in that car. This car throughout its life did have 2-litre engines, 2.3, it had a 2.8-litre V6 from a Capri, I believe, so you know, it did have various engines in its lifespan. But we stuck with the 4-cylinder one with this one, and it is awful. Unless you're going downhill, then it's quite fun because the brakes don't work very well, being drum brakes, so I had to work out another way of stopping the car, namely sideways, and trying to spin the car to get it to stop. This did not want to stop. Brake lights were on, but no one was home. Right then guys, I'll see you in the next car, which is the Alfa Romeo Montreal, the first V8 Alfa Romeo. Right guys, this is our next car. It's the 1970 Alfa Romeo Montreal. It's probably not named after the Canadian city, but it is a very lovely car nonetheless. Powered by a 2.6-litre V8 engine with a ZF 5-speed manual gearbox. And it's on the floor, no flappy pedals, because this is the 70s, man. The 70s is an awesome decade for cars. See the dashboard, see all the plastic, but the dials are lovely in this car. The dials are very precise. I like the dials, they're very nice. And this car is designed at Bertoni's factory, so it's going to look good, and it looks fantastic. If you look at the car straight on, you'll notice it has that meh face. I'll put it in the video somewhere, but that meh face, it has that when you look at it face on. I think it's brilliant. I love this car already. Because it can't be asked. It's just like, oh yeah, drive me if you want. But the engine is fantastically sounding for what it looks like, and the bodywork is fantastic. The suspension is very, very soft. I mean, you could ride this over the Montreal test centre at like 100 miles an hour. You wouldn't feel the bumps. You'd be like, it feels like I'm driving over cottage cheese. It's a brilliant car. It slides forever though. Probably down to the standard tyres, but you know, I love the car anyway. It sold me with the engine note. A very good looking car, very great handling car once you stop clowning around, and it's definitely a great addition to add to Forza because there's very little classic V8 cars. I mean, sure, there's American stuff, but who cares about that stuff, honestly. There's not enough British stuff either, but classic Italian stuff is always good too. It's European, and European is much better. Anyway, and the car itself does look quite nice. As I said, I keep saying this car looks fantastic, just because it is. The interior is very nice. I mean, never see the driver hopping from one seat to the other, so the seats must be very good. And all the brakes are useless, as in every classic car. It's not the best, but the engine is the best sounding engine in this pack so far. I can't wait to get into other cars. Right, moving on to our next car, which is the Chevy Impala. Oh dears. Right guys, here's our next car. It's the 1996 Chevrolet Impala SS, powered by a 260 horsepower 5.7 litre V8. And that's where the good stuff stops, because from here it just goes all downhill. It's paired with the most useless 4-speed gearbox I have ever seen in my entire life, and it was only ever sold as an automatic car, so that never helped it either. And in this entire car review I only ever used 3 gears: reverse, first and second. That's it, period. It's the most useless gearbox I've ever heard in my, used in my entire life. And apparently by Forza logic, because this car was only ever sold with an automatic gearbox, we can use it in manual and manual clutch as well. Don't know why, it's just Forza logic. Anyway, back to the car itself. The dashboard is grey, manky and horrible. The exterior is bland, boring, and it looks like your car you'd see on the road every day. It's like one of those families 4-door saloons. No real personality to it. It has a lovely engine though, don't get me wrong. This car does sound fantastic. It's just that this car pretty much ruined American cars for me, because this was pretty much the first American car I ever saw as a child on those wildest police chases. The police used them, and I was surprised at how easily the police caught up with people, because this is awful to drive in this game. The suspension's numb, the steering doesn't give a fill in the gap, and the tyres and wheels, they're not really performance. It's a highway cruiser, if I'm honest. Not really much I can say about it, to be fair, other than don't buy one. Yeah, that's probably my only advice. Do not buy this car. It will give you the biggest migraine. And I've set up a little test during this review actually to see if I could get it into that magical, mystical 3rd and 4th gears. I may have to take it around the Nürburgring and see if I can get it into 3rd and 4th. Right, coming around this last corner, getting a little bit sideways because the tyres just said no, I can't handle all this power and the gearbox is useless. First to second, and then the engine stumbles a little bit. Then you get into the stride of 2nd gear, hear the engine higher and higher RPMs, hear it going faster and faster and faster. Engine's about to explode with the amount of horsepower it's got under the bonnet. And then I have to brake because the corner's coming up, which I think is awful. Who designs a car this bad? Really? Well, the gearbox anyway. Right, see you in the next car, which is a Dodge Shelby co-op thing. Right guys, this is our next car. It's the 1986 Dodge Shelby Omni. Goes like hell Shelby. Yeah, the GLHS. This car shocked the living daylights out of me after hopping straight out of the Impala into one of these. Is the best feeling ever. This little car is capable of so much things. This thing took off like a rocket. It's powered by a 2.2 litre turbo 5-speed engine. It would give any modern day hot hatch a run for its money and even further. This is the best car I've ever driven. It's such a small little car, but yet it drives like a mental case. It's like me. If I was like the same size of a dormouse, I would go mental. I'd have rabies. This thing should have teeth and rabies. This was actually only a couple of cars that Carroll Shelby put his name to onto the Dodge, so you know this was sold under Shelby, but it is a Dodge nonetheless, and he's more known for working with Fords. But other than that, this car is fantastic. Only 500 of these were made, and I can understand why, because they are completely mental. And believe it or not, this car was sold for £11,000, which, well, no, $11,000, so I'd round about 7 grand, 6 grand maybe, for one of these. It would kick the arse out of the Mark 1 Golf, easy. Mark 2, definitely. Mark 3, oh my god. This thing would walk past everything we have in Britain. So, it's amazing. Why haven't we got this over here? I've done a little test, see how fast I can get it to at the end of the straight. I think I got it up to about 140 miles an hour. It's such a small little car. Oh my god, it's fantastic. I want one of these cars, just generally, I want one of these cars. Look at it, it's a flipping rocket. It's such a tiny little car, and it gets up to 140 miles an hour in the length of Mugello Straight. Well, no, half of Mugello Straight, because this was the Mugello short track. Such a fantastic little car. I would recommend just to buy this pack just for this car. Just for this car. Or, I know Forza do this thing, you can buy the cars individually now, so that's quite nice. You could do that too. This car is just brilliant. One of the best cars I've driven in this pack, and I hope to drive some better cars. This is just fantastic. This definitely cheered me up after driving that useless Chevy Impala. Right, the next car is... Alright guys, this is our next car. It's the 2012 Honda Civic Si Coupe. And it's... well, it's a coupe car. It's got 201 horsepower from a double overhead cam CRV engine mounted with a 6-speed manual with helical limited slip differential also in there as well, so the no front wheel spinning completely mental while the other one just grips and grips. It's a lovely car to drive. It is very wallowy, but it's not meant for the racetrack. It's meant for like a motorway or something. Maybe the occasional track day if you're feeling up to it. Put on your driving gloves and all that good stuff. This car is actually made in Canada. Obviously there's probably, you know, places all over the world that make these, but this is the 9th generation of Civic Si, and you can definitely tell that because the body is very streamlined now. It's like they've taken all the excess fat off it. It's like if someone's had like plastic surgery or something that stretched their face back. That's pretty much what this looks like. The interior is very funky, all the digital dash and everything, and that little SI logo that convinces you that it's a race car, although it's not. The engine is very powerful. It's very perky for a Honda. You don't usually get the immediate pickup from a VTEC engine, but they've tuned the gearbox in such a way that like first, second, third, fourth gears go by very quickly when you put your foot down, and that's what I like. It makes it feel like a touring car, which is brilliant. And bringing me on to another thing, congratulations to Matt Neal and Gordon Shedden for winning the 2011 BTCC Championship. It was a good team with the Honda team, so I suppose some of that technology has worked its way in here, which is quite nice. Right, this is the end of this, the first part of this 2-part series of the Jalopnik Car Pack. Hope you enjoyed my reviews. Hope you found them informative. If you have any discussions or any thoughts, please leave them in the comments below, and either me or Alan will get back to you as soon as possible. Alright, take care guys, enjoy the rest of your day. VVV Cozzy out.
So a nice mix again from Ross on some of the different cars on display there. Some nice little skills as well. He'll be producing a wide range of videos. I know some of you may be complaining about the video quality in HDR, the PVR business that we need to sort. We will sort that eventually. We'll get there. But in the meantime, it's nice to hear Ross's vocal tones as he describes his car passion and goes into the cars in some detail as well. So it's nice to see that always developing. He'll be moving on to Pack 2 as well as a lot of other features in the coming months as well, looking at everything from photography to paint jobs to tuning your cars to maximizing performance, and you know what the top guys have to do to really get to the top of those leaderboards. So we'll be going through all of that as well as some basic driving tips as well. So lots more to come, Forza Motorsport, and lots more to come from me as well, including some more in the way of simulation, iRacing, 3-screen displays, plus other news on R Factor, Project Cars updates and all that sort of stuff as well. So lots more to come, viewers, and as ever, that's it from me. More soon.